Met my wife 15 years ago. Stunner, but a lifelong veggie. And all this time I've been pretending to be one too. On business trips, I eat my body weight in sausages and steaks.
Staying at the Best Western supports a local independent business. So, what's that you've done? Booking Good makes up for it.
Welcome back to Box 2 with myself, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, in partnership with Best Western Hotels GB, who want you to remember that you get all the very best prices while supporting independent hotels, but only if you book direct with them. Now, I'm joined by a very special guest who needs no introduction today. Is the former Leeds Rhinos legend Ali Lauitiiti and his friend Cliff Thompson, who've made the journey all the way from New Zealand to support our former teammate, brother and comrade, the late, great Rob Burrow. Ali, it's been wonderful to see you again. I've been talking about you this morning. I've been to a Leeds Learning Alliance event where the Bishop of Leeds, Nick Baines, has been speaking all about faith, and it took me right back, enabled me to speak about my faith that I was introduced to way back in about 2004, being a born-again Christian, thanks to this gentleman here who pointed me in that direction way back then. But we'll talk about that, Ali. Just want to know, how have you enjoyed your week, pal?
Hi, Jonesy. No, thanks for having us on. It's been awesome. Good to be back, especially with Cliff and, seeing all the good sights and just showing around, a lot of history here. So, good to be back at the club and seeing how the club's growing and the great stadium that you guys have built. So, yeah, good to be back. And
you're the chaplain at the New Zealand Warriors right now. Got that new role. Cliff, tell us about your role as well as a wellbeing officer at the Warriors, and you work in the NRL.
Yeah, so again, like Ali said, Jonesy, really awesome to be here. Thank you for having us. And my role really simply is in that wellbeing manager space for the Warriors NRL squad, and that's looking after and supporting our athletes, their families, as they journey through life. Sometimes the stuff on the field makes a lot more sense. You're told what to do and where to go and where to be, but it's stepping over that white line when you've got to manage a whole lot of life stuff. That we come into play and try and work in that space, and working alongside Ali, who obviously you mentioned is the Warriors chaplain as well. We're in a really privileged role where we can provide care, a bit of love, a bit of support, and help them navigate not only during their playing career but also post. So transitioning out, what do they want to do post-career, and we do that across New Zealand Rugby League as well.
And NRL's exploded, and we had that private chat yesterday, and I wondered how much welfare feeds into that. The wellness of players and the opportunities to sort of cross-pollinate and move into different sectors when they finish playing, and whilst as well, because I think if I understand it right, part of your role is to almost augment their playing journey with other extracurricular activities as well. Do you want to just explain a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, it's all-encompassing, right?
Yeah.
When we think about ourselves, we're not just we're not compartmentalised. Where we do this bit, we do that bit. It's the holistic. So it's what you do, but then it's also who you are. It's what you'll do when you're off the field, who you are as a father, who you are as a son, a brother. How can we help maturate that with you, navigate that with you? And then when you talk about that sort of post-career transition piece, you think about yourself, think about Ali.
Yep.
I think if I can say really quickly, we were talking a few days ago about high performance sport being one of those spaces where a very rare space where you're sort of retiring when you're only coming into the peak of your powers, right? You're only finding out, most people are finding out at 33, 34, 35 what they want to do. You've been working at this since you're 10, 11 years old, and then you have to give it up. And you've got a whole life ahead of you to live. I think of it that way. Our job is to help you discover and navigate into, whether it's trades, starting a business, supporting your partner to find her job, whatever it might be. You want to be a stay-at-home dad. It's all encompassing, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah,
I love it, and I've lent into that quote. I've mentioned it a million times now about finding your gift. Pablo Picasso. Meaning of life is to find a gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. For me, in a biblical context, we're all made in God's image. There's something intrinsically unique and special, divine about people, and we've all got the opportunity, whether it be in the context of a team, a church, a tribe, to give that. And the people that pay that forward, for me, have a lot of joy and a lot of fulfilment in life. It's interesting when I listen to Alice reflect on coming to Leeds in 2004, you always start by saying, I got kicked out of the Warriors. You might not want to delve back into there because you're back there now. Don't know upsetting the apple carts, but I find it like incongruent in my mind to think that the nicest man on the planet gets kicked out of a club. You might not want to delve into that, what that was, but if not, just wanted you to reflect on your early thoughts and memories of making that decision to come to Leeds, because you stayed here for a long time. You bedded in, and it was lovely to have yourself, Nina. You had family over here. My wife remembers Nina, loves her to bits, loves asking questions to see how she is. But what do you remember about coming in 2004?
Yeah. No, it was just like going back to the Warriors. It was ironic because I got probably pushed out because of my faith, and then now I've come back, as a chaplain.
Wow.
So it's crazy. So but it's all part of God's plan, I guess. And coming here probably was a big move for me because I thought, man, it was going to be too far. I came here in '98, then I came in 2000, and then the Lord told me, hey, maybe it's time to go back in 2004. I was like, no way, it's too far. But because I got married in 2003, and then my wife said, why don't you just go and have a go there, And I think at the time there was a young team, coming through, and I heard so much about it through Wills, and I think Willie was a big part of it too because he was a Kiwi over here, and I wanted to come to a place where I knew someone, and I think Wills Poaching was here at the moment, so he was awesome. But it was a good club to come to, and also you had a new coach, and I think the whole vibe was, you guys were all welcoming, so easy to kind of get started, I guess.
Love it. Providence. He comes here because of his faith. Who knows, maybe he come to just impress that upon me, Jesus as my Lord and Saviour. That's what hope's all about. And then he goes back and ends up chaplain at New Zealand Warriors. God does work in amazing ways. What did you know about the Rhinos back then, before you came in 2004?
Yeah, I heard, not much, but I knew, Tony Kempinen was there, Kevin Edel, some great Kiwis come through. So in terms of that, I was thinking, I heard also it was a growing city, it was still building. So, but no, not really much. Just that, some of the great Kiwis have come through and played. So I knew it was, even, come back in 98, 2000, it was a good city to come and stay at. We were here for 5 to 6 weeks, so we enjoyed it as Kiwis. So, yeah, I think it was that was probably more of a reason to come here anyway.
For sure, and that's Kevin Iro in Yorkshire. Just clear that up. I remember supporting Kev as a kid myself out in that South Stand, and you won a grand final in that first year. Remind me of Mitch Garbutt. Mitch Garbutt came over in 2015. I think he played about 8 games and won a treble. Instant success. What do you remember about that? Because it was a special group. We're celebrating 20 years of that, and obviously coming back to celebrate Rob's life, about 75, 80 players turn up, reminiscing, sharing some of those sorts of memories. It must have been special.
Yeah, it was special, just to be I think I was just thrown into a great team. What I saw, when in 2004 was a bunch of boys that, kind of come through the grades, and they were just passionate about the city.
Yeah.
They were really, I think that's what I saw, the passion that you guys brought. You want to defend your city. Whoever came to Headingley, they were not going to win a game. So I think, I don't even know if we lost a game, when I was here. But just a team full of great players, and they just wanted to play for each other and play for the city. So I was just that little part of the puzzle, and I just kind of jumped on the bandwagon. Just fortunate to be, and blessed to be a part of it.
Amen. The little part of the puzzle describes himself. Very contagious, enthusiastic, loving guy, mate. You give me so much. Not just signposted me to my faith, but also that number 11 shirt. We had a photograph down in the tunnel there. Ali was the custodian of the 11 shirt. I inherited it 11 years, unbelievable as a Leeds boy. Adrian Morley before that as well. So had some good characters. It must be amazing getting a character like Ali back to New Zealand Warriors. The young boys, like I did, must get a great deal out of that, Cliff.
Oh, Jonesy, it's amazing. I think, we know Ali, and he's so understated. He's always quick to push other people forward. But we had a conversation in the car a few years ago. We were driving to a location, can't remember what we were doing, but we were talking about sort of calling in life and gifting and purpose. And, we're talking about the game of footy, and, Ali so simply said, oh, no, anyone can sort of do this, man, and nothing special. But I said to him, well, to be honest, Ali, the reality is, if you think about it, we talk about purpose gifting and everyone being different and unique, but Ali was gifted with things that you just couldn't train, right? No matter how much I trained, I can't make my hands as big as his, and I can't make my feet move like his did for his size and speed. He was gifted, and he made the most of that gift. And I think it was we talk about coming back to the Warriors, it's a full circle moment. Like, he's talking to these kids now, and being able just to be present, and it is that full circle moment around how you use your gifts and talents and squeeze the most out of it, right?
Yeah.
And make the most of it, and not just, and you mentioned so often, or people do, as I've been here too, so often about the personality that he is and the person that he is. And I think that's the stuff that we bring back. And if I circle back to that conversation about he left because of his faith, and now this full circle moment of coming back because of it, right, in that role, I mean, that in itself speaks to the maturity of, I suppose, the Warriors organisation, but the investment that Leeds had in him that helped him come back as a guy of, we talk about forgiveness and character, and willingness to put things aside for the better good, the greater good, and to now come back and serve in that capacity. So to answer it all, I'm just, puffing this guy up. But just to say, in all honesty, in seriousness, he deserves it, because it's more about the person internally that's, and he just happened to be great at footy and all the same. So having him back has been amazing. Just connecting with the young guys, and they light up. When they see a legend walk in, he's up on the wall, but then he's serving them a cup of coffee. Like, what greater contrast is that I don't have to serve you, but I choose to. And I think that's the real special thing that these young guys are sort of taking away from being around him.
It's so encouraging reflecting that I choose to serve you. I mean, that's the contrast, isn't it? The archetypal story between hero and a villain, how you choose to use your gifts when them gifts present themselves, is sometimes beyond our control. But you had some amazing ones. I mean, you became a fan's favourite almost instantly. The way Chris talking about, he was like the Michael Jordan of rugby league, carrying the ball in both hands like a peanut, scoring in corners. Like, you were the first person to do that big dive over try, like Sir Tommy Makinson and Ryan all have done in Super League. 12 years though, Ali. I mean, that's a great sort of number biblically, as symbolically. But what was it about Super League that you think kept you here, in contrast to sort of certainly players today?
I think, apart from the great teams that I played with, and I think it was more so the great blokes, had some, made some good relationships even with you, and I can name a few, but and also it was just, I think that was massive, and also my family enjoyed it. That was probably a big part too. My wife made friends here, and kind of made England our home, and I think you have to embrace it when you come here. And the people were friendly. As you mentioned, the fans, great fans, probably best fans in Super League. Probably, I know, probably after Wakefield, or the same as Wakefield. But all the fans there are crazy. I was telling Cliff about it too, how the fans are just, oh man, they are so passionate, and they love supporting their, their local teams, and I think that's what kind of caught me too. So, and they just make the whole atmosphere. So yeah.
Do you have a favourite moment? Or you had some magic moments. Talk about some of the best players ever to come over here from NRL, and you, in my personal opinion, one of the best, mate, without a doubt. Do you have a highlight, a moment in the Leeds shirt that really stands out in your mind?
No, oh man, there's so many moments. I think obviously playing grand finals. My first game was funny. I kind of when I saw Wayne McDonald the other day, he broke my nose on the first game, so it's against Salford. I remember that first game. That was a big eye opener, because I think I was still jet lagged, but man, the fans were crazy, Yeah. The chanting, and how the passion that I saw that day was amazing. And then probably against St. Helens, I think we beat them 80-something-0. Yeah, I think that was a crazy, really good feat, but also a game to remember. But so many games, I think just making the grand finals was massive for me, because of probably in the Warriors I've only played one grand final, so to make it to 6 grand finals while I was here, so no, it was just a dream come true, but a blessing. So yeah.
There's 2 moments that stand out in my mind, and there's many of them, by the way. We could have a proper highlights reel. One was at St Helens at Knowsley Road, and you looked like you was a bit tired when we were defending. And you're like, oh, just sorry. Yeah, Ali, come in here, I'll do a couple of defensive tackles for you. And then St Helens dropped the ball, and we're about, I don't know, 5 or 6 metres off our line. Picks up the ball, like this, about an 85-metre try, like, eh. And then the second one, I think it was 2006, that unique V shirt. He had a bit of an afro going on there, and he scored that sort of one-arm put down in the corner. They're pretty special, then, mate.
Thanks, man, because you did heaps of those coming for like 4 tackles. And I don't know, man. Keith used to do that to me, and I know you and Gaz. So.
Well, mate, Joel Moon did the same for me, so it's reciprocated. Let's chat about a lot of people when they hear the name Ali Lauitiiti, a lot of Christians out there that'll dial in. Certainly on YouTube. I just wanted to talk to you about your faith over here, because I know you invited me along to the City Evangelical Church. I still go there now. I still remember there. And you moved around a little bit. You had a different experience, to Life Church for a little bit. But just tell us about that journey. And are there still friends who you connect with through faith and otherwise over in England?
Yeah, I think talking about our faith, I think it's a big part of my life, and I know with many others. I think for me, I always look at it as my faith has given me the opportunities elsewhere. I guess I always believe in God's favour, and God directs me in different places, even when I don't deserve it. So I always look back at my life, and especially playing career, and I'm like, man, it was only of God that I went there or did this, or and He put me in the right place at the right time. So. I must say I wasn't probably, at many times he can see, he knows, probably the most obedient child, but, I hand over heart that if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. So, blessed me with a beautiful wife, and kids. And so all the opportunities I believe I got is definitely from Christ. And so whatever I do, hopefully that through my life, that I can direct people to Christ. I wouldn't say I'm just Christian and I love just Christians. I love every I think our faith is based we serve and we care for everyone, no matter who you are, what colour, what faith, what religion you are. That's part of Christ's love, and I just want to share that. So, and hopefully I've did that through my career, and because He's did so much, and that's only a small part of my appreciation for Him. So yeah.
I think it's really important to have that belief, certainly for me, and I see it regularly. And just asking you, Cliff, how important it is to have that conviction in your life. When I look at some of my values on my wall, faith is at the foundation. It's number one. It's at the bottom, symbolically, because everything else is on built on that foundation. Faith, family, friendships, fitness, fortitude, finance, fun, God willing, freedom. And that's ultimately the sense that I get the freedom through having Christ at the centre of everything, to quote Ecclesiastes. Otherwise, it's meaningless. So when you see that in the context of young men who want to have conviction on a journey, to have that firm foundation in their life, you must see the fruits of that in their performances in their life as a whole.
Yeah, 100%. I think, all those things that you've named there, Jonesy, anchor.
Yeah,
right?
That's it.
Anchor it. And I think in a real simplistic way, when I look at young men, athletes that we work with that have faith, it gives hope, right?
Sure.
And when we, if we don't have hope, what do we have? It becomes everything you mentioned about being meaningless. It really is that without hope. Hope in whether it's you chunk it down to my next performance, hope in my relationships when I go home, hope that I have a good post-career, all of this sort of stuff. Hope becomes the anchor. And I talk about it often, even in our circles, in sport, is, our greatest superpower as Christians is love, right? Is that we would love one another.
Yeah.
And I think about a scripture which is, as far as it depends on you, be at peace with all mankind. That's a personal challenge, right? Because you're not going to get on with everyone. You're not going to agree with different lifestyles. You're just not going to live your way other people do. But can you find a way to be at peace with them? Can you find a way to be deliberately able to accept who they are, work with them, love them, even if they're different, even if you don't agree with lifestyle choices. And I think that exists within sport, because not everyone is the same, but they need that sense of, we talk about an anchor, a person that can rise above and they can come to, even if they're not a Christian, right? Could you come to me as the well-being guy and know that I love you and care for you and support you and will navigate you, even if it's, spiritually not the same. And I think those things are things that sit with me often. I think about that. I look at guys like Ali, like yourself, and other guys that I know have faith really at the core, and it gives you a real sense of stability and anchoring, a sense of peace, and like I said, a real sense of hope. So I think those are the sort of really important things that sit at the centre of all of this with our faith.
Just flashing memories there, some of the sentiment, the narrative, the underlying narrative of what's made Leeds Rhinos successful throughout the course of that generation, getting a bit, not dogmatic, but the book of Esther, the only book in the Bible without God actually being explicitly mentioned, and this famous quote, for a time such as this. And it's interesting, like, not everybody in that team, as you know, were people of faith, but you mentioned love there. That's probably of the overarching word that I use when I talk about the underlying narrative, because I think the love that was shown, as in love as a verb, the doing of something. I talk about the doing being at the root and the emotions in the fruit, and you saw that through the leadership of the likes of Kev Sinfield, what he did for me on the field when things weren't great, what he did for everybody on a daily basis, and then what he's done for Rob in that walk, 4.5 year walk with motor neuron disease. Just fascinating, and you just wonder where a lot of that came from. And this idea, thinking about the fact that you introduced me to Michael Wildsmith, who was the pastor at City Evangelical Church, 2024, he's now the chaplain of the Leeds Rhinos, mate. It's unbelievable. Just Ali, reflecting on 2004 and coming back, and it's not easy to talk about, but Rob Burrow as a number 7, like an unbelievable character, great friend, somebody who's a real comedian and unique in himself in the changing rooms. Just tell us a little bit about Rob and some of your memories that you've reflected on while you've been here this week.
No, I think Rob was definitely a character, caring character too. As much as he would, he had great banter. He'll put you down and then pick you back up. But no, he was just, and he was a great player to play with too. Some of the stuff that he did, I think, as a player. As small as he was, but big at heart, and he was one of those guys who will do anything for you. He'll cover you, he'll even do a hit up for you. So I think all those things. I know you talk about care, and I think that was massive with the boys. I think everyone cared about each other, and they didn't care who was shining or who got man of the match, as long as everyone was playing well and we won. I think that was big. I remember talking to Kev one time, and he reckons that he was saying that all he wanted after the game was just to see the boys celebrate, enjoy themselves. Kev never drank much, or he was that nice of a guy, probably nicest dude, and also one of the best leaders that I've played with. So, and he, I think for him, he led by his actions. You knew that he was genuine, and I think that was the main thing. So, yeah, just that care and love for each other was massive. I know you kind of felt that if you were a new person coming into the team. So, yeah, it was good.
Jonesy, can I just add on the back of Ali? It's interesting because I obviously didn't know Rob personally, and when I came here, I came to support Ali and obviously learn a bit of an exchange with Leeds. But since the week that I've been here, that Friday night I was up there in the stands, and you guys were about to take the field, and then lo and behold, I find myself standing on the field with you guys, right? And I to be fair, I had no place to be there, but I think it exemplifies what the club is all about in terms of inclusion and love. And if this guy trusts this guy, then he's part of the family, and that's a real honour. And even though I didn't know Rob, I know what love looks like.
Yes.
And all those moments add up, that you feel the love, you sense the love. Every person that I've interacted with that's been one of Ali's friends have made me feel like I'm just part of the fabric and part of the family. And that's what I say, like, I didn't know Rob, but I know what love looks like. And to see that, to sense that, to have talked with Ali about it prior to coming, while we're being here, and I'm sure when we look back as we leave, those are the sentiments that really do linger. You never forget those things. The memories fade around the stuff that happens on field, but the people, and that's the word we've been hearing, right? All week is friendship, connection. And I'm not just talking about, like, you've been amazing to me, and guys like legends like JP have all been amazing to me, Gary, but everyone in the club, even the boys sitting at the table at the dinner, the lunch, have made me really feel that the love that has been expressed throughout the journey with Rob and Kev, and I haven't even met Kev in person, but it's genuine, it's real, it's felt, it's experienced. And I think those are important things that a lot of clubs could probably learn in terms of how to love one another, how to embrace those, and be a bit of an open door, to be vulnerable, to let people in. And I saw that post, I thought there was a post on the Leeds Rhinos page of everyone standing on the field, and then right down the end, I'm in the line, and I'm privileged and honoured to have been there, because I know how much it means to this guy who's my friend, and I know how much then all these friendships mean to him. And to be part of that, I think, is something special. So, I think what Leeds do around care and love, a lot of people could learn from.
I love that.
That's Michael Jackson, Rob the Jack. Was it Rob Jackson? Or?
Yeah. Well, he loved it, and he named his son, didn't he? After Michael Jackson. He put them songs on all the time. This idea as well that we sort of link a memory with an emotion when we see people. You're absolutely right. I don't remember much about a lot of the games actually now. It's because it's almost frivolous, meaningless. But the sentiment and the hairs that stand up on the back of my neck when I meet and see certain people. Even Liam Botham. Remember Liam Botham, the son of Ian? Like, I remember him ringing me up, and he must have had a bit of a busy weekend, and he was talking about which game he might not be able to come to that hot lunch. He ended up coming to both, because as soon as he had that connection, he wanted more of it. And there's a duty for me as well, actually, right now, to make sure we keep that connection. Just sticking with Rob, you played, as you mentioned, at Wakefield as well, so that means you play against Rob. He must have been a nightmare to play against when you're a bit tired and he's got ball in hand. He's just come off at bench, maybe looking a bit fresh, and he's scampering towards you. How does that feel like?
Mate, I've seen him, run through. Made even when I talk to each of the Kiwi boys, every time I talk about like Leeds or man, Robbie's hard to defend, and they feel real. Not nervous, I think, around him, because just how fast he is. He's strong too, agile. So it's hard to defend. But I don't know, that's why. Thank you, Rob. He always looked after me when we played against you guys when I was at Wakey. Never ran around me, never ran to me. But I could just imagine, man. He's hard to handle. That's what made him. He's a great player. He wasn't like a proper half, but you knew that when he told you, make sure you be there. He told you where to go. That's what I liked about him. Even in the midst of the battle, he's always joking around too. So he's making you laugh. So he competes, but he knows when to have a laugh. So love you, Rob, man. Rest in peace, I guess.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, mate. Thank you. Just reflecting, Ali, as well, on your international career, 18 games for New Zealand, a tri-series in 2005, and opting to go back to play for Samoa with Mr. Kylie Luluai. Just reflect on that, on your New Zealand career. I know my wife's always said she'd love to spend time in New Zealand, and I'm not just saying that because she's here. I just think it's quite magnetic, that cultural image that comes across. With the way that they perform on the field, and certainly the tribal. We talk about tribes all the time. That for me is like the root foundation word of community, and that comes across in your culture playing rugby. But how important was it for you to represent New Zealand, and then maybe some of your heritage as well in Samoa?
Yeah, it's always an honour and privilege to put on your the black jersey and also the blue jersey. But yeah, just because you're representing, where you're born, where you grew up, but also for the Samoan side, you're representing your heritage, your parents, where my dad and mum come from. So, all those kind of play a big part and big reasons why I put on those jerseys, but also who I represent too, obviously my faith, family, and my community that I come from. And then I think the hope is that hopefully I can inspire someone else, a kid that's coming through the same grades, the same from the same area, that maybe sees that it's not possible, but it is. Hopefully that's the hope, is that I encourage someone else. But it's always good to put on that black jersey, as you said, about care, love. That's part of our culture. It's in the forefront of it. So when you put on that black jersey and you've just met that person, it's like you've known them for years.
Yeah.
And that's your brother. So, and that's the way we've always kind of been. It's funny because when we used to meet up with all the Kiwis, you're seeing all the Kiwi get-togethers, and some of the boys are like, "How do you know that guy?" "No, I just met him today." But it's like we've known each other, and that's the way we are. That's probably that's a big part of when we do play together. We just want to play hard for each other and have a good time, and that's it. So, and hopefully that we've represented the jersey in the right way. So, because as we said, there's so many greats that have come before, like the Leeds jersey, and we just custodians, and we just want to play our part. So yeah.
Cliff, getting all those boys back, the old fellas, the old guard, the alumni, if you like, amongst the youngsters, how important is that for them to see where they're from? Ali talks about heritage, some of the past informs us as to where we're going into the future. So getting some of the old players in must be great.
Oh, yeah, great, and also important and powerful. There was a college that called us back home and said, "Hey, look, Cliff, could you come in?" It was a first 15 rugby team, and they were doing really well, but then they're going through a bit of a patch where they were struggling. And so, I said, "Yeah, I'll come in," but I told them I'd bring a few guests with me. So I took this guy in Shantaine Hape, and when these guys walked in, because not only do they see a football player, they see themselves, because these guys represent where they came from. They've probably been through some of the challenges and the family dynamics, the interfamilial things. And I remember Ali speaking to them, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying, and Ali got quite emotional as he spoke to these young men. And we used to hearing the banter and the jokes, but here's this guy in his stature, and he's emotional, and I knew why, but I asked him in the car on the way back, what's going on, and his words were, I see myself in those boys. I know how much they're struggling. They're not struggling with their football, they're struggling with some of the stuff that's just going on in their community and going on at home, which doesn't allow them to get the sleep they need, which doesn't allow them to get the food that they need. It doesn't allow them to get there on time when they'd like to and get the training in that they love. And he gets it. So when you circle back to the question, how important is it to bring these guys back in? It's probably one of the most important things to do, is to have our future meet our past and bridge and connect. And we're looking, I think that's the thing, was we're always looking for ways to find, well, we should be looking for ways to connect us. I think human nature is that we more often than not look for ways that we don't connect, and therefore we write a relationship off, versus, well, actually, where are our threads of connection? That comes down to, could be culture, could be upbringing, could be experience, but we know in this space, no one knows it better than I could give a message about resilience, and contextually Ali or another legend like a Jerry Siusi gives it, because he ran off the back fence and he knows what it's like. It hits different for these boys, eh?
Yeah.
And so I think it's really vitally important. And the Warriors, even with the New Zealand Rugby League, starting to do a really great job of inviting and having that culture of yesterday, meet today, to inspire, to give, but more important, to give them mentors to talk to when things get a little bit difficult. And I think that's been the real benefit of it.
Mate, it's almost genetic, and I'm listening to what Cliff's saying there, and I'm remembering, we're talking about instant connection just by being together and looking for them threads. Remember 2015 when you came back to play for Leeds against New Zealand? You remember that bit of an exhibition game? And afterwards, you all got in front of the South Stand and did the act together, and I'm hairs on back of my neck like a fan again, singing, "Whoa, how good is this?" But just reflect, if you remember that night, it was quite a special one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Obviously to come back to the club where I started my Super League career, but also the team where I donned the black jersey, and seeing the Kiwi boys put on that, the haka was awesome. Was probably a game that I'll remember for the rest of my life. It was good too, seeing also the Leeds boys and all that, just supporting it, I guess. Then Kylie was part of it too, so it's good to see my my Kiwi mate there, because I played with him in the 19s back in the Warriors. So to finish off my career playing that last game with him too was fitting, and with you guys too. So yeah.
One way to connect the boys, coffee, right? And looking at the brand, I think you must have been in with Chris Doe, one of the big YouTube marketing experts there. Coffee Bro, is it Coffee Bro? Don't let me do it an injustice.
No, it is.
Is
it? Coffee Bro, but yeah, Coffee Bro, yeah.
Love it.
Coffee is Samoan for coffee.
Right.
But bro, it's just, it's like a kind of a Kiwi slang, Coffee Bro.
Well, tell me about the truck and how that came about, the name, and where you use it to connect some of their boys.
So how Coffee Bro came about was I was doing youth work, and I met one of a childhood friend that was doing it. So he was doing it on a daily basis and he was just telling me how the reason why I did it, not because he loved coffee, but it was so flexible for him. So he'll do, say for example, he'll start about 6, finish around by 11. And that's it, and he can pick up his kids and do whatever. But then, so I thought I'd try it just for a reason that I could do coffee with my daughters. The other thing why we did coffee was because Nina loves coffee, so I don't like coffee, but and then we kind of just did it just so I can do coffee with my daughters and try and learn business if we can, but it was only a small part of business. And then when we did this wellbeing, when I started wellbeing department at the Warriors and also New Zealand Warriors, NZRL, then Cliff said this would be an awesome part, to connect with the boys, have a coffee. The boys love it, and we can just kind of check in on them, seeing how they are, and then they'll come in. So
because it's natural, like you go and get your morning coffee, and we know the boys come through and it's the first thing most of them get, but we're looking for that sort of compound effect of connection, which is we might not have a big deeper meaningful this morning, but they'll come and get a coffee, and then what you find over the days and weeks is that they stay a bit longer, they talk a bit more, and we use coffee as a great connector. But on the flip side, it helps Ali in what he's doing, and it's been fantastic to see him doing it, and to have him as a legend of the club be there. Like I said, an opportunity to serve. Turns into lots of jokes and laughter, and as you can imagine with Ali, but the coffee just happens to be pretty good too, so it's a benefit.
I was going to ask you, good coffee's a good connector. the bean, but what's he like as a barista as well? 'Cause we've got Cam Smith with his brand of coffee, very traditional English, is Mr. Bean Smith. All right, I can see the connection. Not quite as cultural as Ali's, but is he good at knocking the coffee?
Look, I'll tell you this much, man. Once he got his quality up and stopped half cutting the beans and mixing them. But no, all jest aside, him and his daughters make a great coffee. It's good quality.
Brilliant. Mate, tell us about some of the former players, Marcus Bai, Brent Webb, Chris McKenna, some of those boys who are living over there that we're unfortunately unable to see just because of distance. Couldn't quite get over this time. Hope to see them soon, but are you in touch with any of the boys? What are they up to now?
Yeah, not really. I know Marcus is, I think, still working in the mines, I think in PNG, but doing a little bit of coaching. I haven't seen Chris McKenna. Yeah, I think he's on his own. He's doing his own thing. Right. But you mentioned some of those players, and even the likes of Dave Furner, Matt Adamson, and then our good friend Willie Poching. Yeah. Willie Poching's doing really well. He's doing a little bit of TV work for Sky, radio station, podcasting. So he's enjoying it. I don't know if Mariah's from Queensland, so I think she wants to go back to Australia because the good weather over there. You talk about rain over here. Oh man, there's way more rain in New Zealand.
But Webby?
Yeah, Webby. He's so he was building. He's a qualified builder, but he's now looking after the Roosters development. Yeah, so set up there. So he's doing really well. good coach, I must say.
Right. Great
and
coach.
Yeah,
great coach.
And his son Charlie's doing well. So, even Ruben's doing well. So, still the same, still a bit grumpy at times, but
mate, I got everybody in 2009 to write a bit of some memoirs of the last 24 hours. So after we won the grand final, everybody wrote down what they did, thought, felt in the last 24 hours, and everybody did it apart from Webby, which was a bit of an enigma, but it's typical of Webby, wasn't it? Just loose cannon. But it's interesting that you're saying he's a good coach. You ever see him coaching Super League or NRL one day? Or sometimes, and listen, being a great coach, by the way, doesn't always mean you have to coach a big team. Some people love being assistants or youth developers or just enjoying it.
Ali will probably add to it. I think that's not beyond him at the highest level. I think what makes him a great coach, from my humble opinion, is his ability to see the game, stop it, break it down for these young guys and move them around and articulate what he needs and sees from them. It was fantastic because we sort of helped out with the Roosters Academy a bit and saw him firsthand be able to do it. So I think it's not beyond him to coach at the highest level, but just like you said, as an enigma, it's whether he'd want to do it himself and see himself in that space. I think he's loving the development space with the young ones. What do you think?
No, as chilled as he is, but he can get pretty grumpy, probably impatient at times. I know he does that with Charlie. So but he is a great coach. Knows the game, but also, I don't know, man. I don't know if he comes over here. I don't know if Jen will let him come back over. But he always talks about his time here too. He loves it.
Good.
But it's funny because I remember one time. I remember talking about, Webby. I think it was one morning we had a review, and the man turns up with McDonald's, and his hand sits down. But then he's got the best reggae. Oh, mate.
You're like an action hero, wasn't he? Like he'd be just come out of a mould from a toy shop.
And he's got like twig legs, but he can squat, bench. So, But he's good dude.
What about his lad as well? Because he's coming on really well, playing as well.
He's a real good player. Hopefully we'll see him in the NRL Super League. But he's a player to keep an eye on because really competitive. Chases everyone down if he's on the other corner, and he hates losing. So like any other great player, he's hopefully I'm sure he'll be better than his dad.
Always working hard. Mate, I don't know if there was anybody on the planet who could compete with being as nice a guy as you are, Ali. It'd be Brian McLennan, like the most genuine fella ever, like wonderful coach. Took me out into the sea, did a bit of fishing in 2017. Like, amazing, just no trouble for him whatsoever. And I haven't really spoke to him since. He ever crossed paths?
Yeah, Brian's doing well. Looks good too. I think. Rest in love to his dad. His dad passed away, and I think he kind of went away from rugby league for a little while and kind of just concentrated on him and his family. He's running a mechanic shop up in Hibiscus Coast, so beautiful part of. Oh, you'll see it right next to the water. Mm-hmm. So he's doing well. Him and his family. I think his son was doing a bit of coaching with Webby too. Right. But he, I don't know if he's gone into business or even. Agent, like a player agent.
All right.
To his son, but he's doing well.
Good.
Yeah, he's out of the box type coach. Always thinking of ways to kind of get through the defensive line and all that. So he's one of New Zealand's great coaches. So I must say, but a really good bloke.
Great philosopher, storyteller. That's how we got everybody going.
Crazy horse.
Crazy horse. Captain Oates, the exhibition to the Antarctic. Brilliant, mate. Searching after being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
And the geese. Was it geese?
Geese, yeah. Lessons from geese. Mate, it was some really good stuff. I used a lot of this, I've regurgitated. Good job there's no patents on it. I had 6 weeks, mate. It's a good job I was running out of material. Last one then, Hall of Fame, being inducted into Hall of Fame. It's a great honour, and it's lovely to think that one of your blue plaque will be out there for time immortal. Ali Lauitiiti, how did it feel on Sunday to get inducted with so many great legends?
Yeah, definitely, honour and also privilege. But it's funny. I feel, but I'm always like kind of a bit funny because it's, we're playing a team sport and then you get like individually, what do you call,
Accolades.
yeah, accolades, I guess, or individual accolades. I'm like, man, it's a team sport, man, so, but as I said before, it's my name on there, but, it's, it's my teammates and coaches that I've been a part of. That's the reason why I've been recognised, I guess, and definitely because of that. So all thank you to my teammates, and so but it's definitely an honour, and especially to be the first Kiwi with all the other amazing Kiwis that have gone before me. So just a privilege and honour, and thankful to you for putting in a good word, I guess.
No, mate, it's a pleasure. It's great to have you. And the event itself on the Sunday, Stevie Pitchford, the bionic barrel, the pocket battleship, he said something that stuck with me. Dave Ward gets up as captain in that era, sort of 77, 78, and he worked out that he'd packed down with Stevie Pitchford, right, so many times that he reckoned in his career he'd put his arm around his mate in a scrum 7,500 times. And I just thought, in an event where the word friendship came up was the underarching theme for the event, that this picture, putting your arm around your mate that many times, was just golden. And as well, Gordon Brown, older fella, 93 years old, played about over 300 games for Leeds back in the day. Just blows your mind. From an external perspective there, Cliff, what did you make of the afternoon?
Oh, just phenomenal, because I think regardless of whether you played high performance sport or rugby league, those things resonate with you about life, right?
Yeah.
That again, the things you do begin to fade from memory, but who you do it with and what you've done are the lasting things that bring you together. And I stood in that room not as a teammate of Ali's, as a friend in life from a different perspective. We work in rugby league together, but our families live together and commune together, and so seeing that happen from a friendship perspective, and I say, Ali mentions the circle and the family of people, but we know too it's the wives and the partners that go on this journey with them and enable them and support them to do what they do. So it's all those reminders and those threads, and to see that happen at the club and the way it was acknowledged, and that reminder there about putting your arm around your mate so many times. It's not a chore, it's a privilege.
Yeah.
That we can live so much life that we get that, because I think the beautiful analogy around that is when you pack down in a scrum, it's not my arm that only goes around you, it's your arm that comes around me. So it's a connection again. Brilliant and beautiful, and to see Ali be honoured like that, and to see every one of his teammates cheer for him the way they did. That's what Village is all about. It's when you win, we win.
Yeah.
It's not about me, it is about us. And I think about it, if these are the last words I can say on this, is from a biblical perspective, when we talk about we go and others go because we have and we've done. But I think about the Great Commission, right? All of us are called to live out the same purpose, but we're also individual, that the way we live that out is through our gifts and our skills and our abilities. And so while Ali says it's a team sport, it is, but his gifts were used within that team context to do some pretty special things. And I try to remind our mate here that, brother, you were a phenomenal talent, and it's okay for people to say that about you, and it's okay to accept it, but it's a beautiful thing that he feels so uncomfortable about receiving it. So just so special, Jonesy, to be part of it, to see it, and again, just a privilege to be around and to see the camaraderie, the love, the friendship, the connections. Yeah, pretty cool.
What a signature, what a sign-off. I can't add to that. Big thanks to Cliff Thompson, Leeds Rhinos Hall of Famer Ali Lauitiiti. Thanks for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you next time right here in Box 2.